The last time the Salukis and the Panthers met, there were two kids on the team who knew a little something about winning games, namely Stutson Hairston and Darren Brooks. Together, they added 34 points to the team's win over UNI at 76-69. Even more exciting, though, was how rookies Matt Shaw and Randal Falker contributed to the team's win with 12 and 10 points respectively. Falker's performance in this game won him an exit from Coach Lowry's doghouse. Now, Southern prepares to play against Northern Iowa in the Unidome, a place that is never friendly to the Salukis.
From the Dome on the campus of the University of Northern Iowa, we're happy to bring you exciting Saluki basketball. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Trude. Matt Bierman is alongside. Chris Hagstrom will join us on the sidelines later. The Salukis and Panthers of Northern Iowa, right now the top two teams in the Missouri Valley Conference, meet tonight. This is a place, though, that the Salukis have struggled in lately.
They've lost their last two games here, Mike, and in fact, the SIU football team hasn't even won here since 1983, leaving some people in SIU sports to say this is the Dome of Doom. The Salukis already have played in one Dome of Doom with the University of Wyoming earlier this year. They came out successful there. We'll see how everything goes today.
Northern Iowa is 15-3, an excellent ball club led by the preseason player of the year, Ben Jacobson.
I would expect them to see Tony Young be put on Ben Jacobson to defend him. Jacobson averaging 14.6 points per game, and she should be tough to guard.
The Salukis, of course, Tony Young, what a game the other night against Drake, hits the game winner with 9 seconds left and gets a steal at the buzzer to win it. We're hoping for a phenomenal game tonight. The Dawgs and the Panthers from the Unidome. We'll be back with the starting lineups right after this. It's time now for the starting lineups for tonight's basketball game. First for the visitors from Southern Illinois. Salukis come in with a record of 13-3, 6-0 in the Missouri Valley Conference, and they will go with the lineup that has won 11 straight games with Bryan Mullins, Jamaal Tatum, and Tony Young at the guard positions. Randal, Falker, Matt Shaw at the forward spots, and Falker and Shaw both had good games against Drake the other night.
Yeah, Falker was 5 of 5 against Drake, and Matt Shaw averaging 9.4 points a game. They're going to be crucial if SIU can win this game.
Northern Iowa has an injured player. Eric Crawford is out for 4 to 6 weeks, so they will go this way. They will have John Little, Brooks McCowan, and Ben Jacobson at the guard positions, and Stout and Coleman will be the big guys underneath. Stout and Coleman both with double-doubles against Illinois State.
Stout and Coleman are the two top leaders in rebounds in the Missouri Valley Conference. Stout gets 8 a game, Coleman gets 7.
And allowing you to make a difference in the lives of underprivileged youth in Southern Illinois, First Cellular is collecting used cell phones to help fund Southern Illinois University's Saluki Kids Academy. Details about cell phone recycling online at firstcellular.com. We are ready to tip things off. We just barely touched on the injury to Eric Crawford, but he broke his foot 2 games ago, is out from 4 to 6 weeks. Northern Iowa's had to juggle their lineup, bring in their super sub, John Little, who played 36 minutes against Illinois State last weekend. I have a feeling a lot of that was to get him used to playing solid minutes against the Salukis, so we'll see what happens. They are not very deep off the bench. Obviously, the Salukis not very deep off the bench as well. It's the battle of the two Titans. Number 1, Southern Illinois against number 2, Northern Iowa, as far as the conference standings go. This should be a great one.
Should be a great one, Mike, and with Southern being up by a game and a half, if they could win this game and go up by 2.5 games, they could really take control of the Missouri Valley Conference.
Totally agree with you. Again, the Panthers 7-1 in this building. The only loss was an overtime loss to Creighton. The Salukis, of course, undefeated at home, and the talk around the head coaches is you've got to win your home games, try to do your best on the road, split or win 5 or 6 games on the road. So Northern Iowa already considers themselves down a game, although they have won 3 road games already. They've won at Illinois State, and then they won at Wichita State and Missouri State. So very, very, very interesting matchup between these two teams. Both Northern Iowa, very veteran team. The Salukis, obviously, without any seniors on scholarship or in the starting lineup. We'll see what happens. Grant Stout, that's number 32 in your picture there. multi-talented forward for the Panthers, leads them in career blocks. A great rebounder. He'll jump it up against Randal Falker as we get underway here at the Unidome. Tip is controlled by the Panthers. Stout and Shaw, pretty good matchup there. Down low to Coleman, and he misses. Missed what looked like a pretty easy bunny. Here come the Dawgs. Jacobson draws Tony Young. Down low to Randal Falker, an easy layup for two.
Nice shot by Tony Young, just finding Falker, and he gets the ball in the bucket.
Brooks McCowan, number 23, bringing it up, was Mr. Basketball in the state of Iowa. Was a prolific scorer in high school. Has not been a prolific scorer at Northern Iowa.
And that's Southern Illinois ball because Northern Iowa won the tip night.
Alternate possession, ball goes to the Salukis. So that's a turnover for the Panthers. Decent crowd on hand. They had over 8,000 for their game against Creighton a little over a week ago. That was the largest crowd ever to see a conference game in the Unidome. Salukis being patient. Mullins is wide open, and he hits a three.
Nice job to find the open man right there. Mullins drains it down like he knows how to.
Good assist from Tony Young, skipping it over the top to Bryan Mullins. It's 5-0 SIU.
I like the way they've started this game, Mike. 5-0 run.
You heard the slap. There was no call. Ball goes off of Tony Young.
They're looking for Jacobson there in the back door. Tony Young interfered with the play.
Southern worked on a lot of backdoor defense in their pregame shootout today. There's Jacobson, back to Coleman. That's John Little. No good, and Matt Shaw clears.
And the Salukis look like they're blocking out a lot better than they did against Drake.
Shaw for three. No.
He's not afraid to shoot it. He shoots from over 30% behind the arc, Mike.
Jacobson, nice crossover. Fadeaway jumper, no good. Jamaal Tatum goes high to grab the boards, and Southern still with the 5-point lead. Leaner, Shaw over the back.
Jamaal said, why not? I'll just try and do it myself here. Couldn't quite get the hoop. Shaw got a little bit too aggressive.
Northern Iowa does not commit fouls.
They average only about 14 a game.
Sixth fewest in the country. That's Stout with it up high. Coleman has it down deep. Another jump ball, and that'll go back to Northern Iowa. Southern collapsing nicely underneath on Coleman whenever he gets a touch. See what they call out of play. Greg McDermott is a genius in offense. Throws it right through the legs of Grant Stout. Another turnover for the Panthers.
And for a center, Coleman looks like he can handle the ball pretty well, Mike.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't shoot the three, because he will shoot an occasional three. Tony Young, a pop-up shot, no good. Cleared by Coleman. This is where they're most effective, in transition. No good, Tony Young. Talking with Rodney Watson during their shoot-around today, he said that they are ultra dangerous in transitions where they score the bulk of their points. It's still 5-0. Tony Young, no. Coleman's everywhere on the boards. Jacobson on Young, gets it to Stout. That's 2 on Matt Shaw.
It's definitely not good for the Salukis. Already 2 fouls on Matt Shaw. They're going to have to bring Jamaal Foster in, Mike.
Jamaal comes in. Matt sits down with 2 fouls.
And that's a huge, huge miss right there.
So he pushed him a little bit. Great block by Falker. Coleman gets it back. Blocked again by Falker. And he steps out of bounds. Turnover. What a great effort by Randal Falker. 2 block shots.
Falker averages about 1 block a game. He got 2 on that 1 defensive set right there, Mike. Amazing.
He's 6th in the lead in block in the Valley in block shots.
Mullins almost traveled there.
Both teams play very good defense. Mullins is open. Here comes transition. John Little.
There's that transition game you were talking about, Mike.
They like to get out and go. Just ahead of our first media timeout. Jamaal Tatum for 3, too strong. His shooting woes continue.
Coleman with another board.
Probably got 4 already. Draws the foul on Jamaal Foster. That'll be 3 team fouls on the Salukis. We've come to our first timeout of the ball game. 15:09 left to go. The Salukis lead it 5-2. We'll be back. Tonight, Christopher, what do you have?
Well, Mike, I had a chance to talk a little bit with Rodney Watkins today. The 3 key players you've talked about earlier today, we have Stout, Coleman, and Jacobson. Those are the guys that SIU's got a key on. And also, SIU is going to have to be able to keep themselves very strong and inside the paint, hold their ground, and they should be able to come out on top of this one. Mike, back to you.
Thanks, Chris. We talked about the rebounding battle, and Coleman already has 4, as I thought he might have.
And Stout has 2. Both together, they have 6.
And Grant Stout will be at the free throw line shooting a couple of free throws.
And Mike Stout on his free time likes to teach Sunday school.
74% free throw shooter. His first point of the night. He's coming in averaging a little over 11 a game. He will hit a 3. He will drive on you. He'll hit a pull-up jumper. And he will battle you to the death on the boards. 5-4.
Salukis need to come down here, get a good motion offense running, and just find the open man.
Tony Boyle is in the game for the Salukis underneath. Here comes Tatum. Tony Boyle scores. Tony Boyle.
Nice look by Jamaal Tatum right there. He could have took the shot if he wanted. He was open, but he fed it to the big man, a higher percentage shot.
Tony Boyle has now hit 11 out of his last 11 shots from the field. Jacobson. Can't get it to go.
We're going to be seeing a lot more threes from Jacobson. He has the most in Northern Iowa history, Mike.
Tatum with it. Northern Iowa has truly improved their defense over the last couple of years. They used to like to outscore teams, but Greg McDermott realized that you have to do more than that.
Mullins was open on the wing.
Tony Young with an air ball.
Not so sure that was the best shot there, Mike.
McCowan. It's a mismatch somewhere there.
Coleman just overpowering Tony Boyle right there.
7-6. Boyle with it. Foster.
Salukis are trying to pound it inside and kick it back out.
Jamaal. Rebound number 5 for Coleman. Panthers have weathered the early Saluki storm and now can take a lead with a basket.
Bryan Mullins, a very good defender, averages 3 steals a game.
Jacobson's open.
Tony Young stripped the ball before he got to Tony Boyle.
Jacobson is still on the ground.
I'm not sure what the call is on the foul here.
I don't think there was a foul called. There it is.
Hopefully he's all right.
Slammed into Tony Boyle.
Kind of looks a lot like the Jamaal Tatum play from the Drake game. Hopefully he's okay.
Travis Brown comes in to the lineup for Northern Iowa, and Santos, 6'10" sophomore out of Salvador, Brazil, into the lineup for the Panthers. John Little sits down, and Chris Lowry can't believe that either there wasn't a foul or that it was out of bounds. Little's got to come back in.
Santos is 6'10", Mike, the tallest player on the UNI team.
Little has to come in for Ben Jacobson. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Austin Brooks, number 4, guarding McCown. Jumper no, tip controlled by Austin Brooks. One thing the Salukis will not see is pressure, bringing the ball up court. Drake, it was 94 feet for 40 minutes.
The Salukis got a little bit of a taste of their own medicine in the game against Drake.
Foul on Brooks McCowan. He looks stunned that he got called for the foul.
It's like one of those soccer players, you know, they're real good actors.
Wesley Clemens to inbound it. Wesley's got Little on him. Austin Brooks with it. Southern trying to get it in Tony Boyle. Tony's got it, and he lost it.
You got to hang on the ball when they pass it to you, Mike. And Tony Boyle didn't do it right there. He was looking to post up, and he just lost control of the ball.
Trying to make a move. Dawgs still lead it by 1, 7-6. Boy, Coleman had position.
Yes, he did.
Reach-in foul on Tony Boyle.
And this hasn't been a good night for the Saluki big men, Mike. They're fouling a lot. Hard to control powerful forces like Coleman and Stout. They're going to have to try and find a better way.
4 fouls, all on the Saluki big men. Foster with 1, Boyle with 1, Shaw with 2. Fortunately, the Salukis have some depth there where they have 4 guys playing the 2 positions. Tatum to check back in, next opportunity. There's Santos. Down to Coleman. Down to Santos, moving his feet all over the place. 12 on the shot clock. Five on the shot clock. Long 3, no good. Nice block out by Austin Brooks.
Yeah, that guy looked about 5 inches taller than him, but it doesn't matter as long as you get underneath him and get the ball.
Travis Brown is 6'3". Austin with it on the other wing. On the shot clock.
And Boyle's looked a little hesitant when he's gotten the ball, Mike.
Tony Young for 3, no. Southern gets the rebound and another shot clock.
Young is one of the top 3-point shooters in Saluki history at 40%.
Down to Tony Boyle, working on Santos. Doesn't want to try. Austin Brooks. Salukis get nothing done on the inside. Stripped. Foul called on the play on John Little.
Tony Young tried to do it himself there, got the ball stripped. Luckily, they called the foul on Northern Iowa.
We've got our second media timeout, 10:32 left to go in the first half. Salukis lead it 7-6.
Coleman now with 6 boards on the night already, averaging 7 a game, 6 in the first 10 minutes of the first half.
He's got 3 double-doubles this year. He's coming off a double-double against Illinois State last weekend. Tatum is back in for the Salukis. So is Randal Falker. Jamaal has to get rid of it, does to Austin Brooks. Jamaal ran out of room. There was nowhere to go. Awesome. Jacobson guarding Tatum. It's Wesley with it. Down to Falker. There's the double team. Gets out of it.
And that's the advantage of having Randal Falker in the game. They had to double team him, whereas they weren't double teaming Tony Boyle.
Tatum kicks it to Wesley Clemens. No, air ball. 2 air balls so far. Jared Jostin is into the game. He's got it now. Still 7-6. Coleman to Jostin. Push on Jamaal Foster. 2 on Jamaal. 15 foul on the Salukis.
Still all on their big men.
Foster 2, Shaw 2, Boyle 1. They get a new 35. That's Jostin. Austin Brooks. Down to Stout.
Got double team there.
Fadeaway jumper, no good. Rebounded Jamaal Foster. This could be a battle of attrition. Tatum, pull up, jumper, good for 2.
Nice to see Jamaal hit that shot. He's missing a lot of those shots during the Drake game. Hopefully that could get him going out of his slump that he's been having lately.
9-6. Coleman will come back into the game. Next opportunity for the Panthers. Down to Santos. Shot, no. Falker. And Tatum comes up with the ball. Palmed it. Turnover.
Right there, Tatum just needs to pull the ball back out, let everybody get down the floor. Don't try and do too much yourself.
And if you're saying that, if you're watching the game and saying, boy, palming sure gets called a lot, it is getting called more and more this year. It's almost like they made it a point of emphasis this year as they did hand checking a year ago and some other things that they try to clean up the game a little bit.
Bryan Mullins just came back into the game.
He'll guard Jostin. Jacobson lobs it down to Coleman. Good and a foul.
He has just been dominant so far tonight, Mike. Gets the bucket, and he's going to go for the extra point for the conventional 3-point play.
And Jamaal Foster just picked up his 3rd foul. They called it on Tatum. Called that on Jamaal Tatum.
It's a good break for the Salukis. You can't afford to get too many more fouls in the big in the first half.
Tatum wasn't anywhere near there, I didn't think. Look.
Doesn't look like it right there.
Yeah, it's on Foster. Okay, they just changed it. Now Coleman will try to tie the game up. And he does.
Salukis are going to have to stick a double team on him at all times.
Crowd gets into it. Falker, here comes the double team. Mullins, pull up, 3. It's good.
Gets the shooter's roll. He shot 37% from the field beyond the arc, Mike. That's his second 3-pointer of the game, gives him 6 points.
Mullins almost had the steal. 20 on the shot clock. Look how far out the Panthers have to start this offense. Double team stolen by Randal Falker. That's exactly what Southern's looking for.
And that's the advantage of that aggressive defense that they have.
Tatum wide open. Missed it.
Needs to knock those shots down.
Just ahead of immediate timeout again. It's Travis Brown. He loses it to Wesley Clemens. Wesley's got a run out. Jams it home for 2.
Nice steal by Wesley there, and it was all coasting after that.
Dawgs lead by 5, 14-9.
Mullins defending pretty hard.
Coleman has such a quick step. Justin for 3. Nope. Coleman. Good in a foul.
He is just a beast right now, Mike.
Fouls on Tony Boyle. Coleman will try for a 3-point play when we come back. 6:56 to go in the first half. There's a timeout on the floor. Welcome back to the Unidome. The Salukis lead it by a score of 14-11. Support is provided by the SIU Alumni Association. Members can receive free admission, hot dog and soda at the Saluki women's basketball game against Drake on January 21st by presenting their alumni membership card at the arena entrance. Call 618-453-2408 for more information. Wesley Clemens gave the Salukis at the time a 5-point lead. He did it like this.
Nice elevation right there. Nobody around him, just slammed it home. Mike, back to Coleman. Right now, he already has 7 boards and 7 points. He's going to have a double-double at this rate before the half ends.
And he is single-handedly keeping them in the game thus far. They're back with their starting lineup. Coleman, Stout, McCowan, Jacobson, and Little. Salukis are back to their starting lineup minus Matt Shaw. They don't want Shaw to get his 3rd foul. So Tony Boyle is in the game.
I know the Salukis pride themselves on their man-to-man defense, but they may have to try and switch to a zone for a little bit if Coleman keeps on beating them like this.
Not a chance. Coleman hits. He's got 8. 2-point game. Southern has led the entire way. There's Tony Young with it. Little high-low. Down to Randal Falker. Backs up Stout, and he misses. He didn't take enough time because he had an easy shot.
Those are the kind of shots you have to make. He didn't get double-teamed there and just kind of looked like it slipped out of his hands a little bit when it went up.
There's Stout. Tony Young.
Playing tight defense as always.
Coleman blocked. On the floor, foul on who? Tatum, Mullins.
The stat sheet says that Falker has 1 block, but he actually has 3 now.
He's got 3, yeah. Now they're in the bonus for the final 6:15, and the Panthers have only committed 2 fouls.
Kind of the same story like when they were going up against Drake. They're fouling a lot, and they're not getting a lot of foul shots themselves. SIU.
In order to get fouls, you have to get the ball inside and take it to the hoop. That's why all the fouls, 7 out of the 8, are on the Saluki big men, because they get it down to Coleman and Stout, and they go to the hole. Ties it up. Tied at 14. Tatum with it. To Bryan Mullins. Randal Falker. Bryan beats McCown into the lane. Boyle with the rebound and a block by Stout.
He leads the conference in blocks per game, 2.5. Got one there. Looked like Boyle had an easy score, but he said no.
Looks can be deceiving. Lob it way over the top to Benny J for 3.
Looked like Tony Young got a little bit out of place there on defense, and Ben Jacobson took advantage as he drains the 3.
Foul on the floor.
Nice shot by Jamaal there, driving in, making contact, getting the foul. Something the Salukis need to do more of.
Fouls on John Little. That's his second. So that helps. Boyle comes out. Shaw comes back in. And Jared Jostin comes back in for the Panthers.
They were looking for Tatum right off the screen there. They couldn't get it.
Southern down 3.
Looks like a little confusion there.
Down to Randal. There you go, Randal. Back him down, back him down. It's what he wanted to do the last time.
Same shot, different result this time.
Salukis trail by 1. Jacobson with it. McCowan. Coleman has such a quick move to that baseline. Stout.
And although he is a big man, he can drain the 3 all right. He shoots 27% from beyond the 3-point range. That's pretty good for a guy who's 6'7".
It's his 9th of the year. Matt Shaw turns it over.
Went for the head fake there, and he took too many steps. Bryan Mullins said before the game he was interested to see what this UNI Dome experience was like. He's getting the first-hand taste right now, Mike.
4-point game. Jacobson, way off. Great defense by Bryan Mullins. Falker.
Nice roll off by Falker there.
Little hook, won't go. Transition, here's where they're dangerous. Timeout on the floor, 3:41 left to go. The Panthers have stormed into the lead. 2016 Northern Iowa, back after this. Generous pledge.
And Mike, 2 big men from UNI have 14 rebounds together. All of the Saluki big men that have played all together have 6.
Northern Iowa on a 9-4 run in the last 4 minutes. Jostin guarded by Tatum. Shot clock is at 18. There's Jacobson. 10 on the shot clock. Back door to Jostin.
Nice pass right there by Coleman. Finds Jostin cutting in with the lane.
Panthers' biggest lead at 6.
Jamaal came around the corner there, couldn't quite get it to go though.
Southern can't finish inside.
Northern Iowa looks like they're resetting.
12 on the shot clock. Coleman. Foul on Bryan Mullins.
I think they're going to call him for grabbing his jersey and holding on to it, Mike.
Foul number 10 of Southern Illinois.
Bryan's first, 9th team foul. 1-1 for Ben Jacobson.
That sends Ben Jacobson to the line.
71% free throw shooter. As Boyle's going to come in for Matt Shaw. Matt played a couple minutes without picking up that crucial 3rd foul. Jacobson has been a better free throw shooter the last 2 years than he is this year.
1-1.
Maybe he's concentrating a little too much on the 3-pointer.
Missed it. Oh, that's twice he's gotten that roll.
I guess that's what happens when you're a good shooter.
You're at home. They're up 7. Preseason player of the year. Jacobson with 5. Panthers lead by 8, and Southern has been in a drought. It's been a while. Mullins with it. Down to Randal. Jump hook. Won't go. Coleman with his 9th rebound.
Just can't get that hook to go down for him.
They're in transition. Now they have to set it up. And they're trying to go up by 10. There it is, down to Coleman. No good. Good defense by Tony Boyle that time. Foul on Jared Jostin.
Tony just stood straight up right there and did as best as he could do. If Coleman makes that shot, you're just, wow, he's just having a great night. But
that's 4 team fouls on the Panthers. Greg McDermott's up on every call as well. Steve Olson gives the ball to Tony Young. Knocked out of bounds by Jacobson. Southern will get it again.
I would look for SIU to try and get another play to Jamaal Tatum here to try and spot up and get a 3 or a long 2.
Jared Jostin is a 5'11" sophomore. Tony Young down to Randal. Mullins throws it away.
He was expecting Jamaal to be there for him, and Jamaal decided that he was going to try and cut to the hoop, try and rebound, because he thought Mullins was going to shoot it.
Tony Young, folks, is scoreless. Leads the Valley in scoring in just Valley games. At 16.8 per game, he is scoreless. One of the reasons the Dogs are down 8.
He's also missed a couple of big shots tonight, too.
Had an air ball. Had another one clang. Steal by Tatum.
Just need to hold the ball up here, let everybody reset.
Foul on Jostin, I think, and Tatum will shoot 2. That's 2 on Jared Jostin. So Tatum will shoot 2 free throws.
These are the first free throws of the night for the Salukis.
And McDermott doesn't like that at all, but he got him with the body. Yeah, he blocked the shot, but he got him with the body. Jamaal, too strong.
Jamaal, a 78% free throw shooter on the season, so he should get this one.
Dogs have not scored in a while. Got it. Jamaal's got 3.
And here comes that full press defense that the Salukis have. Nice job by Mullins there.
Jostin working on Tatum. Northern Iowa is very strong with a basketball. It's going to be tough to just steal it from them. Somebody's got to find Coleman. Here comes Jacobson. 10 on the shot clock.
Stout's calling for a screen. That time SIU had 3 guys on Coleman there. He missed that one.
Southern can hold for 1.
Always a good game like you would expect at the Unidome. These fans sure are into this game.
Here it unfolds. Mullins, yes, at the buzzer. Bryan Mullins has been huge offensively for the Salukis. He has 8.
Nice way to end the half right there, Mike. Only down by 5 now.
So after 20 minutes of play, the Northern Iowa Panthers trailed early, but came on strong and lead the Salukis at halftime. Our score, Northern Iowa 24, the Salukis 19. We have a great halftime for you. We'll start that when we come back after these messages. Just before the half ended, the Salukis made a key play to cut the score to 24-19. It was Bryan Mullins taking control.
Nice job by Mullins right there. He goes in, gets the shot at the buzzer. That's crucial because it only leaves them down by 2 possessions right now. They only need 2 possessions to tie the ball game back up.
And the Salukis do get the ball to start the second half. So we are at halftime. 24-19, the Panthers lead the Salukis. When we come back, we'll have a very interesting program for you on the Trout-Whitman Center. We'll be back. And it's time now to check the Missouri Valley Conference standings. And right on top are the Salukis at 6-0 in the conference, 13-3 overall. Northern Iowa and Wichita State are in second place, both at 5-2 in the league. Creighton and Missouri State are both at 4-2 in the league, and that's where it separates. Then you've got the bottom tier of Bradley, Drake, Indiana State, Evansville, and Illinois State. It'll be interesting to see if that is where the break stays, because Bradley seems to be a better team than 3 and 4 in the league, although they haven't been able to put it together yet. And it'll be interesting to see where the top 5 teams go, because generally 3, 4, 5 losses is the most you can have to win the league. Right now, there's 2 teams with 2 and 2 teams with 3. And of course, the Salukis don't have any losses. But Southern on top as we speak. When we come back, we'll look at some first half stats, some highlights, and we'll have the second half action for you. We'll do all that after this. We are about 30 seconds from tip-off for the second half. First half statistics are kind of interesting. Very even basketball game and all the critical points. But Northern Iowa winning the battle, obviously, at the free throw line. 8-1. It's a 5-point game. They've made 8 free throws. Southern 1. Rebounds, 17-14. Northern Iowa leads. Coleman already with 10. Shooting percentages, the Salukis, 8 for 24, and Northern Iowa 7 for 22. No great discrepancy there. Both teams have made 2 threes. So it's kind of interesting where this is. Some highlights from the first half now. The Salukis have gotten 4 points from big man Randal Falker, and there's 2 on a nice little lay-in over the top. Wesley Clemens has had 2, and he got 2 on a steal and a slam, and then Bryan Mullins has been the big guy for the Dawgs. He's got 8. Ended the half with that nice one.
And he's really showed up big time today for a freshman. He's playing really well, Mike. 8 points in the first half alone. Very nice to see him doing well, although he had no assists in the first half.
Salukis on the year are what when they trail at halftime?
They are 4-3 after trailing at halftime, Mike.
All right. See if they can do 5-3. It is a 5-point game, 24-19. Leading scorers, Eric Coleman for Northern Iowa and Bryan Mullins for the Salukis. Blocked by Stout.
That was his second of the game.
And a foul on Grant Stout to start things off here in the second half.
See early, just like they tried early in the first half, they're trying to attack down low with Falker, trying to get some fouls on those big men of UNI.
And Stout with another block. He's got 2 in the game now. Another foul on the Panthers. Brooks McCowan.
Goes both ways. If they're going to call things tight on the Salukis, they have to do the same with Northern Iowa.
That's his second foul. Give it out to Matt Shaw. See if the Salukis can start the second half as they did the first half. Shaw, jumper, too strong.
Couldn't get the long 2 to go right there. Shaw now 0 for 2 from the field tonight.
Tony Young. That's his first foul.
Young, his first personal, first team foul.
And with how tight of defense Tony Young plays, if he's only got 1 right now, that's good news. Nice job by Tony right there, stripping the ball.
Tatum dips it to Randal, who misses the bunny, gets it back and scores.
Nice pass by Tatum. Falker missed it, but he said, I'm getting that one back. That was too easy.
Back to a three-point game. Salukis have scored 4 straight.
Falker and Coleman are battling down low.
Too deep, too deep, too deep. Foul on Falker. Randal can't let him catch it that low.
Coleman's pretty good when he gets the ball down that low. Already 8 points on the night.
First foul on Randal. Each team with 2 here in the second half.
I'll look for them to try and find Jacobson open on this play here somewhere.
Randal, does he get the steal? Yes.
Nice hustle right there.
Shaw jams it.
Salukis letting the Northern Iowa know they're not going to go down easy right there. Nice pass, nice dunk by Shaw. Mullins has been playing great defense tonight.
McCowan looking for a backdoor, not there. .12 on the shot clock. Little for 3.
Gives them a 4-point lead.
Tatum to the hoop for 2.
Nice penetration right there. Didn't wait for anything. He just went for it all himself.
2-point game. Jamaal now with 5. Stout with it. Shaw's got 2 fouls.
That was about all Matt Shaw could do right there. He played great defense. That was just a nice shot by Stout. 9 points for Stout now.
Foul called underneath. Eric Coleman on the foul. And they're calling this one a little bit tighter here in the second half.
And that's Coleman's first.
Coleman's got 1. Stout has 1.
Look for Jamaal Tatum to try and get open here in the corner.
3 for Shaw. Book it.
Shaw real good from behind the 3-point range. Shoots about 30%. Not afraid to shoot it from beyond the arc.
1-point game.
That was his first bucket of the night too, Mike.
Coleman. Foul on Randal. Randall's got 2. Each team with 3 fouls.
His second personal. Team foul number 3.
Saluki big men are just going to have to play straight up.
Right off of McCowan's knee. Turnover.
Nice strip there by Mullins. Gives the Salukis back the ball and a chance to take the lead right here, Mike. Only down by 1.
Jostin checks in for McCowan. Jostin has 2 fouls. There's Mullins with it. Down to Randal. Traveling.
Nice move by Randal. Nice move by Randal, but a little bit too good of a move.
Chris Lowry looked at him, he said, just take it to the hole. Stout does not want to foul you.
Biggest part about being a big man is just taking it strong to the hoop. Falker didn't really do that right there.
1-point lead for the Panthers, 29-28. Ooh, Mullins almost had it stripped. Knocked it out of bounds.
He's been all over whoever he's been defending tonight. Same as Tony Young.
Little to inbound it. He stepped over the line. It's over and back. Right in front of the referee. Another turnover for the Panthers.
Not going to get away with that one too many times when you're right in front of a ref and you do it. It's now 8 turnovers for Northern Iowa.
Illegal block on Falker. That's his 3rd foul. All 3 in the first 4 minutes of the second half here.
Looks like the rest maybe trying to make this a less physical game here as Tony Boyle comes into the game, trying to make sure that teams maybe settle down a little bit.
Tony's got 2 fouls. Mullins will work Jostin. Jacobson with it. Tried to work a 2-man game. Wasn't there.
Jacobson was open down low, but they didn't see him. Coleman didn't see him. Jacobson's not very happy right now. Stripped. Turnover. Nice job by Mullins right there. They didn't see Jacobson open. And Mullins made sure he stripped the ball so Jacobson couldn't even get a shot off.
Timeout on the floor. 29-28 Northern Iowa. Back after these messages. Chris Hagstrom had a chance to talk with the Saluki coaches after the break. Chris, what'd you find out?
Well, Mike, what I found out was the Salukis doing great and everything that the coaches want them to do on the defensive side of the ball. The only problem is they can't get their buckets to come down. So look for a lot more time to spend on the court taking the shots and a lot more time inside the paint. We're going to go ahead and see a lot of defense out of the Salukis. Mike, back to you.
29-28, the Panthers in the lead. The Salukis with the basketball after the turnover by Northern Iowa. Their 11th turnover now of the basketball game. Southern's turned it over 7 times.
And Mike, I said earlier, Shaw only made 1 shot. He's actually made 2.
He's got 5 points. He had a 2 and the 3-pointer. Wesley Clemens is in for Southern. Michael Williams in the lineup for the first time for the Panthers. Down to Matt Shaw.
Shaw is going to get a 5-second call if he doesn't get it away.
10 on the shot clock. A knee buckler by Tatum for 2, and Southern regains the lead.
Jamaal now has 7 on the night.
30-29. Michael Williams, junior college transfer out of Hutchinson, Kansas. Foul on Tony Boyle.
UNI defenders aren't getting very far away from SIU, but calling a foul right there. I believe that's Tony's 3rd.
They just called that on number 3.
That's on Tatum.
Called it on Jamaal Tatum.
Jamaal's 2nd.
His 2nd. Here comes Little. That's Williams. Austin Brooks guarding him. Foul on Tony Boyle.
That would be Tony Boyle's 3rd.
Or maybe it's going to be on, maybe it's a double foul.
Tony looked like they were calling it on him by the reaction of Tony Boyle right now.
It's Tony's 3rd. I think they're checking the last foul when they came over and said it was on Tatum. I think it should have been on Tony Boyle.
Yeah, this would be huge if they called the other one on Tony Boyle too.
He'd have 4, but had he only had, if he would have had 3, Chris may have taken him out of the game, but who knows?
I think at this point you can't go back on your decision.
Still a discussion going on.
16 fouls on Southern Illinois.
They've got Tony with 3 fouls. Jacobson.
Great defense by Tony right there.
Stripped and out of bounds. Austin Brooks, boy, what a nice lob from Jacobson to Coleman.
Yeah, it was a great pass, and luckily SIU tripped the ball out of bounds. It's still UNI ball, but Tony Young did not let Jacobson get away from him at all.
24 on the shot clock. on Shaw.
Nice move by Coleman right there. You see Austin Brooks right there telling Shaw, just keep your hands up straight. You know you have a lot of fouls on you already. Just keep your hands up straight so they don't call anything on you.
Bonus already, 14:24 left to go in the game. This is going to be a long second half of free throws if Southern doesn't stop fouling.
Chris Lowry not happy with the call.
Coleman with a chance to tie the game. He's shooting 2. Got 9 points and 10 rebounds. He's 1 point away from his second straight double-double. Jamaal Foster in for Matt Shaw. And Foster's got 3 fouls. And Falker has 3.
Not a good situation for the Saluki big men right now. Just got to keep their hands up straight while they're defending and not do much else. Not try and block shots.
And Boyle's got 3.
And he's still in there.
Jamaal with it. Turnaround jumper, good.
Nice job by Jamaal right there. His first bucket on the night.
Salukis lead it by 1, 32-31. This is everything we thought it was going to be.
And the Salukis take the lead with that shot.
Little.
That, you could hear that one. That you knew that was a foul. That was not a good foul right there. You can't be reaching in like that. You got to let your big man just try and handle him.
Austin Brooks just reached right in for the foul. 1-1 for Grant Stout. 1-1. He has a chance to put the Panthers back in the lead.
If he makes this free throw, he'll reach double digits.
The big guys are eating the Salukis up. Stout with 10, Coleman with 10. Coleman with 10 rebounds, Stout with 6 rebounds. Shot is good.
It's been a seesaw game the whole way. It shouldn't change.
Tony Young, pop up 3, book it.
And that's the Tony Young that Saluki fans know. 40% from beyond the arc, showing it right there. Coming through in the clutch right there, 35-33.
Salukis lead by 2. Mismatch, Little on Boyle.
Surprised Little hasn't tried to drive it to the hole yet.
Foul on Tony Young.
Tony Boyle did a decent job for being mismatched, defending John Little right there.
9 team fouls on the Salukis. We haven't played 7 minutes.
Northern Iowa just 3 team fouls.
They have a chance to tie the game up. They are perfect, I think, from the free throw line of the ballgame. 8 for 8 in the first half. They've yet to miss one here in the second half.
It's 10 for 10 right there. This could make it 11 for 11.
Stout made 2. That was 11. That's 12. He missed it. Talk about it enough and something good will happen. Southern leads it. Ooh. Short.
Tony Young got away with that one, but he still missed the shot. He looked like he carried the ball there.
Knocked out of bounds by the Salukis.
Northern Iowa going back to their bread and butter tonight, giving it down low to Coleman. Still Northern Iowa ball.
Tony Boyle did everything he could right on that play, but he couldn't turn around and grab the rebound, and Jamaal Foster couldn't grab it strong either. Still a 1-point game. Michael Williams sits down. McCowan came back into the lineup. Stout. Knocked by Tony.
Tony pushed Jacobson right there. He's lucky they didn't call a foul on him. He tried to push him into the ball.
Going for the ball. This is getting physical. This is really getting physical.
You can tell these two teams don't like each other too much.
Little. Jacobson, long three, real short. Foul on Austin Brooks. They're in the double bonus at the 12-11 mark of the second half.
Not good if you want to win this game. You're giving up a double bonus when you got 12 minutes left in the game. It's definitely not a good combination for winning.
Coleman will shoot two. Tie game. Coleman now with 11. Too strong. Rebound to Jamaal Foster.
Southern just needs to find a good look here on offense, find a good, clean, open shot.
Clemens on the wing. On the shot clock. Clemens, no.
Couldn't really find anything there. Everything was pretty much guarded.
Panthers can retake the lead.
And they have a whole slew of Saluki players coming to come back in on the sidelines.
Coleman wants it. Way to fight by Tony Boyle.
Wow, he's just that good, Mike. Tony Boyle did everything he was supposed to. Coleman still scored over him.
Panther crowd getting into the game.
That's the third block for Stout on the night.
It's going to go over to the Panthers. We've come to a media timeout. 10:50 left to go in the ball game. Northern Iowa leads it by 2.
Leading scorers for Northern Iowa are Stout and Coleman. Each have 12. Leading scorer for SIU, Bryan Mullins, still stuck on 8 points.
Northern Iowa got the ball on the alternate possession. And the Salukis brought Mullins, Falker, Tatum, and Shaw back into the game. Falker and Shaw both with 3 fouls.
And that's about all you can do if you're SIU right now. You can't afford to get any more fouls on your big men.
Just can't let him catch it that low. And Randal can't touch him once he does. Foul on McCowan, who looks like he got robbed at the bank.
Yeah, Mullins looked like he might have got away with it when he carried it a little bit, but they called a foul on McCowan.
That's his 3rd foul. Southern gets it in. Down by 4. Randal, good.
Nice little fake right there, and lays the ball right in. Randal has 8 on the night now.
See if Mullins can draw a charging foul on McCown with an elbow or something. Ooh, he stopped. Jacobson.
Jacobson hasn't really gotten a whole lot of good looks tonight.
Shot clock at 12.
Nice way to switch over by Shaw that leaves Coleman open.
Shot clock violation, Southern basketball.
It looked like Mullins went out of bounds before the shot clock went off. Looks like a good break for the Salukis. It looked like Mullins had stepped out of bounds before the shot clock went off.
So the Salukis, there's a shot at Greg McDermott. Salukis can tie it up or take a lead with a 3. They're hanging tough.
You wouldn't expect anything less of the Northern Iowa game, would you, Mike? Risky pass right there.
13 on the shot clock. Tatum, long three, no way.
Totally off on that one.
They're running special, which is designed for Coleman. Salukis worked on this in practice today. Walk down a little bit.
He's open down low.
Foul on Randal. That's 4.
Randal's been the real big force for SIU down low, and they may have to take him out of the game right here.
Looks he's coming out.
Looks like Jamaal Foster's coming in.
Coleman will shoot 2. Fouls are really piling up on Southern. And the free throws are piling up for the Panthers as Coleman shoots 2.
10th team foul on Southern Illinois.
16 points for Eric Coleman, who has made a living off of Southern Illinois. There's Randal sitting down on the bench. Jamaal Foster now has got to give some good minutes.
Made a jump shot earlier. See if he can keep on continuing on that success.
Short. Southern down by 3. Real nice defense by John Little. Foul. Oh, travel on Matt Shaw.
That's not the first time they've called traveling on Shaw tonight. Maybe he's a little distracted from Stout, knowing that he's a big shot blocker.
This is how they built their lead up in the first half. A couple of turnovers and a Ben Jacobson 3. Double clutch, no good. Rebound to Wesley Clemens.
Nice shot by Clemens, crashing the boards there.
They're really playing Jacobson tough. Tatum, no.
Oh, Shaw tried to get it, but he lost it as it fell down. Jacobson might
kick it over to Little. Nice save by John Little. Jacobson, 3.
And that's why you can't give Jacobson too many open looks. He hasn't taken him that many good looks all game, Mike, but when he gets them, he's deadly from beyond the three-point range.
Chris Lowry wants a timeout. It'll be a full timeout. So what happened the last minute and a half? Southern turned it over a couple times on the offensive side of things, and they lost track of Benny J.
Unfortunate for Matt Shaw. He came down with the ball, but he lost it. It came down. Jacobson got the ball, got a nice clean look, which he hasn't got many all day, I might add. The Saluki defense has been doing a great number on Ben Jacobson tonight. But Jacobson found a way to drain the 3, putting the Panthers up by 6.
And the Panthers on that play had 3 open looks, but they got it to the guy who's most likely to knock it down. McCowan had a wide open shot from the wing. He said, here, Benny, you take it, knock down the 3. And the 5-point halftime lead is now 6. So Southern had battled back, took the lead, and Northern Iowa has now come back to go up by 6 at the 7:24 mark of the ball game. Southern's got to get back in it.
And there's a reason why they keep on looking for Jacobson. He is the all-time leader in three-pointers here at Northern Iowa. Coming into the game, he had made 177.
Let's watch that last play as it unfolds by Northern Iowa as it wound around the horn to Ben Jacobson. Well, you saw the very end of it.
Nothing but net by Jacobson right there, and getting high fives from all his Panther teammates.
And Southern is in huge foul trouble. Falker has 4, Shaw has 3, Foster has 3, Boyle has 3.
And to show you how good of a game SIU has been doing against Ben Jacobson, he averages 14.6 points a game, only has 8 tonight. That three-pointer, though, was huge.
Northern Iowa only has 12 field goals in the game. Southern has 16. The Panthers are 15 out of 18 from the free throw stripe. Salukis are 1 out of 2, so it's exactly the same as the Drake basketball game. The difference is, by this time in the ball game, Drake had already committed about 18 turnovers. Northern Iowa's only turned it over 8 times, or 12 times rather. Saluki basketball down 6. Let's see if they've got some magic in their legs in the final 7:24. McCowan trying to draw an offensive foul. Not a very good acting job. Shaw to Foster.
Shaw right there just needs to take the ball up. He was wide open. He's a little hesitant there because he's had his shot blocked by Stout a couple times. You just have to go up with that.
Timeout on the floor, 7:12 to go. Northern Iowa still leads it by 6. Chris Hagstrom has been our reporter on the sidelines tonight. Chris, what do you got?
Well, Mike, I had a chance when I talked to Coach Watson earlier today. He told me a little bit about, some people think they have about 9 in the box. Some people think that 9 players are too little. But Coach Watson thinks it's a great job for SIU to have 9 people. 10 would be too much, it would be too few. So we've got 9 people to play for SIU, and it's going to keep us going for the rest of the year. Mike, back to you.
Saluki basketball. Knocked away. And Tatum will recover. 15 on the shot clock. 10 on the shot clock. 5 on the shot clock. Three-pointer, good from Jamaal Tatum.
Nice job by Jamaal there. Looked like nobody else wanted to shoot the ball. Jamaal confident still in his shot, even though he's sort of been in the slump. Nails it.
I believe that was only a 2. 43-39. It was a 6-point game. So Tatum with the 2.
Northern Iowa's attempted just 8 shots, all in the second half.
Too strong.
You can't do that. You can't leave a guy open to get the rebound and score. If you're not going to do that, then you're not going to win this game.
It's like the tip play in football.
Yeah.
Stout tipped it to Coleman.
Not a good pass right there by Mullins.
No, real bad pass. Coleman was just waiting for him to throw the ball.
You can't throw a ball to a guy that's double teamed already before you throw it to him.
Southern needs a stop. Jacobson's wide open.
Oh, couldn't get it to go. That's a good break for Salukis. He doesn't miss many of those when he has a clean look. If you're SIU, you either have to look for Tony Young or Jamaal Tatum.
Jamaal, good.
Nice job by Jamaal right there. He got 4 points. After Salukis' 4 last points here, now they're only down by 4.
Tatum's got 11 in the game. It's coming down to possessions now, and the Salukis have to find a way to stop the Panthers. Shaw with the steal.
Nice job, nice defense right there, just holding them straight up.
Tatum's hot right now.
And Tatum wants the ball, he wants to shoot it bad.
Charge, no call.
Right there, it looked like Shaw was a little bit more interested in running into Coleman than taking up the shot. He couldn't get the ball out of his hands, and Shaw might be hurt again. He injured that ankle in that last game against Drake. I'm not sure what it is right now.
That's his ankle again. Boy, with a collision like that and no call, either way is extremely interesting.
That's about as much as you can say right there. Very interesting call. I mean,
here it is again.
And you could see immediately
grabbing his ankle.
He grabbed his ankle right afterwards. Coleman just standing still right there, doing what he should have done, trying to take one for the team, but no call at all.
And Eric Coleman can't believe nothing was called either. He planted himself pretty nicely to take that charge.
He's a big man to take down.
4-point game. So just when Southern does get a stop,
nice pass by Jacobson.
Brooks McCowan.
Nice shot right there. Drove in the lane and got it to go.
First 2 points of the game for McCowan. He doesn't score a lot, but he scores big points.
Yes, he does. Shot right there, giving Falker the look. Northern Iowa knew Tatum wants to shoot the ball. Now that they started to make the pass too, and Tatum unselfishly gave the ball to Falker. Too bad he couldn't get that one to go.
We've got our final media timeout of the basketball game. 47-41. Can the Dawgs come back in the final 3:53? We'll find out.
Right there, Falker gets the ball, goes up for it, can't get it to go, but at least he gets the foul call to go to the line to shoot two. Mike, on the year, Falker shoots 48% from the free throw line, so he's about averaging 1 out of 2.
And this is only the third and fourth free throws of the game for the Salukis. They shot 2 in the first half. This will be their third and fourth. They're 1 out of 2. Trail by 6. Randal trying to get him back within 4. It's good.
Good job by Randal right there.
He's got 9. The difference, Tony Young only with 3 points in the game.
They've really contained Matt Shaw and Tony Young really well tonight.
Short.
Shaw only had 3 points. 5 actually.
And if he didn't travel, he would have had 7.
Stout trying to set Young up.
Wide open is Stout. They have a big mismatch, big little. They recovered well.
Jacobson's open in the wing. If Coleman can see him, he did. Huge rebound right there by Coleman, just killing the Salukis on the glass.
Look at, they're just running clock. Jacobson for 3. No.
You can't give them too many opportunities. You already gave Jacobson 2 times and he missed it. You're lucky there. You can't give him 2 more offensive rebounds like that.
Jacobson now 2 out of 10 for the game. Foul on Bryan Mullins. That is the 26th and 27th rebound of the game for the Panthers. The Salukis have 20. McCowan will shoot 2.
Missed that one. He made that one big shot earlier, missed that free throw right there.
So the best they can do is go back up double figures. Tony Young coming out.
McCowan is 67% career free throw shooter.
Trying to put them up by 6. Line drive, that one home. McCowan with 3 now. 2:50 and counting here in the ball game. Tatum for 3, no. Falker, nice follow on the tip by Jamaal Foster.
Way to stay with the play right there and never give up. Got the board, got the points.
4-point game. Randall's got 11 now. McCowan really does a nice job taking care of the basketball. Little. McCowan for 3. No.
A little questionable. He's 25% from behind there. You'd think they'd try and find their good guy, Ben Jacobson, there to try and nail a three.
See what they call here. 15 on the shot clock. Drew the foul.
Good job by Jamaal there. He said he wanted to do it himself there and got the foul called. Time stops too, which can only help the Salukis.
Little picks up his third personal foul. Young and Shaw back in. Foster and Clemens sit down.
And it's a 6th-team foul on Northern Iowa.
Shaw can't even move on that ankle. Tony Young. Good shot by Jamaal Tatum.
Kind of reminiscent of that Drake play too as well. Tatum just taking the game out on his own right there.
Salukis need a stop.
Huge play.
Can they get a stop? Can they get the stop they need?
Double team.
They quickly got out of it. Shot clock down to 15. Timeout, Greg McDermott. McDermott calls a 30 with 15 seconds on the shot clock. We'll keep it here. McDermott has all kinds of 3x5 cards with play after play after play after play on them. He's going to call one of those plays right now with 15 seconds left. The Salukis are within 2.
And it looked right before that they called that timeout that they were setting up a screen for Coleman to come around to the wing. It's going to be interesting. If I were Northern Iowa, I would be trying to get my best shooter, Ben Jacobson, the ball right here. He's your clutch guy right now. He hasn't been doing as great from the field today because the Salukis have done such a great job on him. You have to do something to try and get Ben Jacobson open.
Jacobs 2 out of 11. Let's take a look at Jamaal Tatum's last driving layup. What a beautiful shot.
Coleman's been a beast all night, and Tatum just wasn't going to have it there, and he gets the ball in the hole.
Jamaal is 6 out of 13 in the contest. So let's see what we're made of here.
Surprised Jacobson inbounds the ball.
Shot clock down to 11. Stout. Short rebound to Tony Young. And the Dawgs can tie it. And they want a timeout. And they get a timeout. Nice. Big stop by the Saluki defense.
They really needed that one, and they got it right when they needed it. Good job by the Salukis, just getting another chance. Down by 2. I'm sure Chris Lauer is going to have a play set up for either Tatum or Young, somebody, to try and tie this game up.
What will be interesting is will Southern try to go for a 2-for-1? There's 53 seconds left on the game clock, 29 on the shot clock. If Southern can take a shot around the, 42 or 43 second mark, they'll guarantee themselves another possession regardless of what Northern Iowa does at the offensive end. The NBA, they do it all the time. They do it at the end of college games as well. We'll see what happens here as Chris now talks it over with the Salukis. And oh boy, we're set ourselves up for another barn burner at the finish.
You couldn't expect anything less when you come here to Northern Iowa when it's an SIU game, whether it's football or basketball. SIU just down by 2. Interesting to see what they have stirring up here in that huddle right now.
You've witnessed 2 outstanding basketball teams. It's just amazing how hard both teams play with the limited benches they have, and obviously Southern's is a little bit deeper than Northern Iowa's because of the injury to Eric Crawford. Eric Coleman's just been a horse tonight, 18 points, at least 11 rebounds. That was a timeout and a half ago, I think, when the score was 43-37. We haven't got any stats since then. Coleman has 12 rebounds. So here we go. And McCowan again tries to draw the offensive foul.
He should be a kicker in football. Oh, and Falker lost the ball.
Jump ball, Saluki basketball. Saluki basketball.
Nice job right there, just getting on the floor.
You see Tony Young just dive on Grant Stout to get that basketball.
Clutch plays in the last game against Drake, made another clutch play here. Falker couldn't handle the ball, lost it, but luckily Tony Young was able to tie him up.
Greg McDermott is saying that the shot clock should not be full. But if they're saying Northern Iowa got possession before calling a timeout, then it would be a full shot clock.
The refs look like they might talk this one over at the desk here.
So we'll see what happens now. Now, do you go for... Shot clock will be 16 seconds. So Northern Iowa, in all likelihood, is going to get the last shot.
If you're SIU, you just
unless Southern doesn't score, and then they're going to have to foul.
You have to take the best shot if you're SIU.
Knocked out by John Little.
Tough defense here by the Panthers.
Pretty quick clock there, too.
Yeah. Trying to get Tatum open on the wing.
Jamaal's got it. For three, way off. Rebound.
Tony Young gets the rebound, and Falker gets it to go.
Tony Young's going to shoot 2 free throws.
Wow, he may not be scoring that many points tonight, Mike, but he's coming through in the last minute of the game. The little guy gets the rebound.
Tony Young has made 17 straight free throws. If he makes 2 more, we're tied.
96% on the season.
Bingo. 1 more to go. And then Northern Iowa will get the last shot. Or so it would seem. Tie game.
Good free throws by Tony right there, making them in the clutch.
McCowan. We'll just let it wind down. You'll know what happens.
It's Salukis' foul. It's going to be
timeout. Timeout, Greg McDermott. 21 seconds left. Wow.
This is another great game. If you thought we couldn't top the Drake game, well, we just are right now. Another barn burner here, like you said earlier. And if you're at Northern Iowa, like I've been saying all along, you have to find your big guy, Ben Jacobson, to try and get you that big shot.
21 seconds left. Both teams now in the bonus. Northern Iowa has been in the double bonus since about the 12-minute mark of the second half. The Salukis just got in the bonus with that foul, and Tony Young calmly drained both free throws to knot it up at 48. He's now made 19 free throws in a row, and he's the leading. He has the best percentage in the Valley. I don't know if he shot enough free throws in order to be considered the best in the Valley right now. There's Chris Lowry in the huddle, drawing up the defense.
I think Tony Young has ice veins, Mike. I don't think the pressure ever gets to him.
The timeout situation is this. Southern has 2, Northern Iowa has 2. And now, will the Panthers take it all the way down, or will they try to give themselves a chance for an offensive rebound?
Well, they've been dominating on the glass all night, so, I mean, either way, they're going to have to come up with something that can work here. I think you just have to go with one final shot here and try and get it to Ben Jacobson to try and win the game for you. You don't want to leave time on the clock for SIU to come back down and try and score.
Salukis would just as soon steal the inbounds pass, go down and score, and not have to go to overtime.
Oh, that would be nice for Saluki fans, wouldn't it?
Possession arrow is in Northern Iowa's favor as well. So here we go. Down to 13. Down to 8.
Jacobson tried to come off the screen there.
Missed it. Overtime.
Tried to give it to their big man, Coleman, who was dominating all game. The refs were going to let him play. Didn't call the foul. Coleman wanted the foul. He's very angry right now. SIU going into overtime.
Wow. So we've got 5 more minutes of action.
If you didn't think the Drake game could get better, it just has overtime in the Unidome.
Each team gets another timeout, so it's 48-48, 3 timeouts apiece. And this is the second overtime game for the Salukis this year. I'm not 100% sure about that. Have to look that up. And Tony Young's 2 free throws tied this ball game up at 48.
He always seems to come through in the clutch, Mike.
And let's see some good defense in the final few seconds of this basketball game, as we have the replay of that last. Here's Coleman.
Going up, Falker goes straight up.
You know what? Tatum was not pushed.
No, Tatum came in to double team him right there, and Tatum's hands were straight up as well. Coleman just trying to draw something, giving the ref a wide-eyed look, but he's not going to get it today.
Salukis do not have an overtime game this year. This is the first one.
And Mike, this will be the Salukis' last game here at the Unidome. The Panthers are getting a new basketball arena next year.
Northern Iowa, this is their 3rd overtime game. They beat Iowa in overtime, 67-63, but they lost at Bradley, 68-60 in overtime.
And that just shows you how tough it is to play here in this dome. Iowa was ranked 12th at the time when they lost to Northern Iowa.
And the overtime game was at Bradley. And again, the foul trouble on the Salukis is huge. Matt Shaw's ankle is bad enough where he can't compete.
He is a warrior, though. He came back out there. He wanted to play and help his team out, but Lowry has him sitting on the bench right now.
And Randal Falker has 4 fouls. Tip controlled by the Salukis. So here we go. Little fell down for a second. Down to Randal. Nice by Randal, he scores.
Nice job, Stout. Has had 3 blocks in the game. Falker didn't care, went up with it strong like a big man should and got the hoop.
Here come the Panthers. To Coleman. Right to the hoop, Foster foul.
And Coleman's been dominant all game, and Foster just couldn't quite handle him right there.
And that's 4 on Jamaal.
His 4th personal.
And here comes Matt. He can go enough, I guess.
Shaw's a gutsy kid, wouldn't you say?
He's favoring that left ankle. And Southern has a game Thursday night at Missouri State. Coleman will shoot 2. Short. Here comes Shaw. There goes Jamaal Foster.
Evidently, Chris Lowry thinks I hurt Shaw maybe a little bit better than Foster.
Coleman hasn't done much wrong in this game. Just got his 18th point of the evening. It's 50-49 Southern. There's the lob down to Falker. Kick it around to Mullins. Wide open Tatum. 3.
Oh,
no.
Get it to go.
Would have been huge if he hit that one.
That would have given him a 4-point lead, 2-possession game.
Everybody's got to find their men. Panthers now with a chance to regain the lead. Jacobson to Stout for 3. Short air ball.
He had hit one earlier in the game, thought he still had the touch, but came up short.
Look at Jamaal Tatum just running John Little ragged.
Don't forget Matt Shaw.
Tatum to the hoop. Good.
Oh, what a play.
Jamaal Tatum with the bucket. He's got 15, and John Little
looks hurt.
Now goes down.
Little went down in his ankle.
He's okay. Jamaal Tatum.
He'll play a big role in this game for the SIU to come out with a win here. There's still a lot of.
Here comes Jamaal on the replay. Maybe. No, we'll go back to action. Southern by 3. 3:18 to go.
As you saw that play right there, nice lay-in by Jamaal.
Coleman with it. Matt Shaw just cannot move. Benny Jacobson.
And he gets
to Little. Stout down low. They turn it over.
Huge steal right there by the Salukis.
They turn it over.
Didn't look like he could handle the ball right there, and the Salukis took advantage. They could go up by 2 possessions here, Mike.
Shaw. Good.
What a play.
Shaw with a bucket.
Comes in hurt and contributes huge right here. Puts the Salukis up by 2 possessions.
Salukis lead by 5. And it's knocked into the backcourt.
Jacobson wants the ball.
Draw the foul. Nice foul on Tony Young. Jacobson will go to the free throw line and shoot 2.
We've seen Tatum.
Tony's third.
We've seen Tatum want the ball on the offensive end of the floor. Well, Jacobson wants the ball too. He wants to get his team back in the game here, down by 2 possessions now, 5 points.
Jacobson will shoot 2. He's, I believe, 1 for 2 on the evening shooting. Right there. He's got 9. No, he's perfect at the line. 3 for 3. Shot. Good. 3-point lead for the Salukis.
1 possession game right now.
On the shot clock. 10 on the shot clock. Mullins, pull-up, jumper, nothing but the bottom of the net for Bryan Mullins, now in double figures. His first 2 points of the second half.
And he created space right there. Nice play.
Jacobson called it on Falker, and Randal fouls out.
That's what they would like to call one of those cheapy fouls. Randal really didn't foul him too bad, but they call a blocking foul on him, and he's out of the game.
And he did. Randal fouls out with 13 points. Says only 3 rebounds. Jacobson will shoot 2. Good.
Normally with Falker out, you would expect them to try and feed it down low now that Foster's back in the game, but we'll have to see how everything works out here. Salukis up by 4 right now.
Shot is good. Timeout, Greg McDermott. Salukis lead it by 3. It's 56-53, and Southern has the basketball with 1:28 left to go in overtime number 1, we'll call it. What a overtime by Jamaal Tatum, though. Woo!
He has been dominating the game so far in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game, along with Tony Young. Tony Young came up with some huge plays as well there at the end of the second half there. Tatum wants to take the game over right now, and he's just as pretty much doing it. Mullins came up with a huge shot there at the other end of the floor last possession. He created space there with his crossover dribble and drained it.
While Chris Lowry talks over some defense, let's look at a replay. Guess not. Chris is talking. All right, let's check Bryan Mullins' last shot, which gave the Salukis a 5-point lead. Pull back, full extension.
The guy tried to get a hand in his face, and Mullins drains it.
And that gave Southern a 5-point lead. Jacobson came back down and hit 2 free throws.
And right now, this dome is pretty quiet, Mike.
Salukis trying to go 14-3 overall, 7-0 in the league. Northern Iowa trying to go 6-2 in the league and 16-3 overall. Wow.
This is the biggest game of the year so far for SIU, Mike. If they could win this, they go up 2.5 games in the Valley. That could give them a controlling lead going into that Missouri State game on Thursday, but still a lot of basketball to be played, 1.5 minutes left in the game.
Many people go to ESPN and bracketology with Joe Lenardi, and last night on television, Lenardi called this the best, if you want to call it, mid-major game of the week. And in his bracketology today, he had 4 Missouri Valley Conference teams in the Missouri Valley, in the NCAA tournament.
And that just shows you how well the Valley has gotten over the past 5 years or so, and they've really developed a lot of good teams.
Panthers going to pressure a little bit.
Something you don't see too often from Northern Iowa.
There's Jamaal Tatum. So let's see if the Salukis can convert. A basket would be huge.
That's to say the least.
Shot clock is at 18. Jamaal's going to take John Little one-on-one and hope for the best. Oh, he broke his knees. Shot no good though.
55 seconds left. Northern Iowa is probably going to be looking for a 3 to spot up Ben Jacobson right now. He's coming around the wing.
Little for 3. No. Rebound to Shaw.
Big rebound by Matt Shaw. If you're UNI, you might have to foul here.
Call timeout. Southern's got to get it across half court. He got the timeout at the 8-second mark before they crossed half court. Northern Iowa can play good defense here, but they still have to make a 3. So the 3-point edge is critical right now for the Salukis. If they can get anything done on the offensive end, they may sew this one up.
Straight up. As long as they could. Right now, SIU doesn't have to go for a 3. They could just go for 2, eke some time off of the clock. They have 27 seconds on the shot clock right now. That means they could take it down to 8. You want to use up as much of that clock as possible.
They'll use 26-9 out of that 27, I guarantee it, because Southern doesn't have to score. Northern Iowa does. So that's the critical point right now. And the Salukis do have to get the ball inbounds, and we know how tough it was at Drake to get it in. We'll see what McDermott has drawn up, and we'll see what Coach Lowry has drawn up.
Once you try to get the ball in bounds, if you do, you got to get the ball to Jamaal Tatum's hands. Just let him handle the ball and let him control the game right now.
Well, Jamal Foster's wide open. Give it to Matt Shaw. There's the foul. So Mullins will shoot 1 on the bonus as McCowan picks up his 4th personal foul.
Mullins shooting 61%.
So Greg McDermott said, we're going to extend this game as long as we have to now. He decided to foul and not play defense and go for a 3. Mullins at the line, 1 in the bonus. No good. They still need a 3 though, remember. Here we go. Missed it. Rebound. Bryan Mullins to Tatum.
Oh, what a pass to Young. Can he get it?
You bet he can. And they fouled him. And Tony Young's going to the line.
And who else did you not want to foul besides Tony Young? He has 96% free throw shooter. This is great for the Salukis right now. He can make this a 2-possession game right now.
Still 1-1 though. He's got to make the first one.
If Tony can make those last 2 when it was boiling down in the second half, he can make these now. I know he can.
Foul is on McCowan. He fouls out of the basketball game with 3 points. And those were 3 huge points at the time. But all Tony Young has to do is make a shot. Make 1 free throw. Make the first one. And Southern can do no worse than at least get another possession and a chance to shoot free throws if Northern Iowa even comes down and makes the shot.
And it looks like Northern Iowa is going to try and make Tony Young think about it a little bit before he goes back to the line.
They've got to make a substitution. And it's going to be Jared Jostin coming in for McCowan. And Tony Young's going to go to the free throw line. He's made 19 in a row. See if he can put the nail in the coffin here.
This is
for Southern.
This is why the coaches say it always comes down to free throws.
Missed it.
Oh, he can't get it to go.
They need a three. They need a three. There's a timeout with 9.7 seconds left, and Tony is just so frustrated. Now, you don't dare foul. You don't even give him a chance for an offensive rebound with Coleman and Stout underneath. That's right. You just make them hit a three-pointer.
If you're SIU, get your hands straight up and try and get it in their face, but do not foul them. You don't want to put them in the line. Even if they make that three-pointer and you foul them when they're shooting a three, if they make it, they can win the game. There's no reason why you need to foul. You're the ones up. The only thing they could do right now is tie the game and send it back into overtime.
Right. So the Panthers need a three. Here's another replay from our crew tonight here in Cedar Falls.
And there we go right there. Looks like Jamaal Tatum lays it in right there. And Mullins, remember he hit that big shot.
The big shot.
And then
Jamaal with the driving left-handed layup.
And then there's Falker. And he's out of the game now for the Dawgs.
And now a second 30-second timeout by Northern Iowa. So they are out of timeouts.
I would have thought Northern Iowa would have maybe let them at least SIU set up a little bit to see how they were defending them before.
Well, they know how they're going to defend them.
They're going to defend them
man-to-man. And they're going to deny, and they're going to do everything they need to do. They're just going to give them the lane. They're not going to give them a three-point look. So that's what's interesting here. Do you give them the two and then go down and shoot free throws again? This is very, very interesting to see how this one plays out.
If you're SIU, you just have to give them the two and hope for the best on the free throw line.
They've brought an extra three-point shooter in the game. Travis Brown is in the game.
He shoots 50% from the three-point field, Mike.
When he's wide open. Jostin. Stout for three. Yes!
He made it!
Timeout. 4 seconds left.
He had the height advantage right there, Mike, and he got it to go.
4 seconds left. This one's not over yet. Southern has a chance.
Second three on the night. Northern Iowa keeps on coming up with huge plays right here. 4 seconds, though, is still a lot of time. Salukis still have time to set up a play right here and see what they can do.
Let's check out that three by Grant Stout again. He had Jamaal Foster on him. That's all you could do. There it goes, 4 seconds left.
All you can do is put your hands straight up, don't foul. That's what Foster did, and Stout still made the three. Have to give him credit.
Southern has 4 seconds. That's plenty of time to get a bucket. And it's going to be Jamaal Tatum, I guarantee it, if he can get the ball. They're going to double team Tatum. Here comes Mullins, 2-point, 1-point shot, no way.
Mullins could have kept the ball for about an extra second and got a better shot. He got a little anxious there, wanted to get one off, left it at half court, and you're not going to make many half court shots.
So we go to overtime number 2, tied at 56. 56. Wow. And we want to remind everybody who brings you Saluki basketball each and every time we show it to you on WSIU. It's by First Cellular of Southern Illinois, by Old National Bank, by the Southern Illinois Collegiate Common Market, by Saluki Central, by the Furniture King, Vogler Motor Company, Trace Hombres, Banterra Bank, the SIU Alumni Association, 710 Bookstore, and the Saluki Connection. Your area Anheuser-Busch distributors, B&G Benegoni Distributing, Golden Eagle Distributing, and Benegoni Harrell Distributing, LLC, and by SI Cosmetic and Family Dentistry. And doesn't Tony Young wish he had that free throw back?
Oh, you know it's still eating him up inside right now. He had a chance to put the game away a little bit and at least make it a 2-possession game. And you know Tony's going to come back, though. He's a fighter.
Now here's where it really gets dicey. Jamaal Foster's got 4 fouls. you know their first possession, they're going down low to Crawford, and he's going at Jamaal Foster to try to foul him out of the game. Then you've got to bring in Tony Boyle.
And right now, when you have 4 fouls, if you're a big man, you have 4 fouls, all you can do is keep your hands straight up in the air and just hope for the best. You can't afford to foul out. You already have Falker out of the game. You can't afford to have any more big men out of the game.
And Matt Shaw is playing on a less than perfect ankle.
He is a real gritty player, isn't he, Mike?
So it's Jostin, Jacobson, Little, Stout, and Coleman. The one advantage Southern has here, I think, is Bryan Mullins guarding Jared Jostin. He can cause him fits, and Jostin, I believe, he has 2 fouls. Let's see if Jamaal Foster can win the tip from Grant Stout. Nope. But Tony Young steals it from, but John Little gets it right back. That would have been huge.
Salukis have to buckle down on defense.
Looking for Coleman. Short. John Little short.
Good rebound there by the Salukis.
Tatum with it. Jumper, no.
Not a bad shot by Tatum. He just couldn't get it to go. He was open.
See who has legs left. This is all about legs and who's got them and who doesn't.
And who wants it the most. Nice look there by Jostin. Gets the ball down low and they take the lead, 58-56.
Is wide open. 3 from Shaw. Yes! And he gets it to go. Shaw with a 3 and the Dawgs lead by 1.
He's got 5 points in overtime.
Wow.
Second 3 on the night.
Turnover. And a foul on Grant Stout, and Young's going to come down and shoot 2.
And doesn't Tony Young just seem to be in the right place at the right time, Mike?
Unbelievable.
And you know Tony's going to want these 2 back. He missed that free throw in the overtime, the first overtime. He's going to want this again.
Tony Young had made 19 in a row. Let's get on another streak, 19 more. He'll shoot 2 here.
Get it to go again, rims out just like the last one. You're Tony Young, you just got to block that out of your mind and just get this last free throw to go.
Trying to put the Salukis up by a pair. Got it. Tony's got 6 points.
Makes it a 2-point game.
3 would have been huge. Jostin. There's Coleman.
Jacobson's coming around the wing, but Young's all over him.
Shot clock at 13.
And are the Salukis lucky he didn't make that bucket? Otherwise, they could be going for the lead right now.
Foster just fouled out of the game.
Now it's Tony Boyle who comes in with 4 fouls.
He's got 3. Tony Boyle's got 3 fouls. Then it's Wesley Clemens.
That's right. That last foul that they called, they didn't call on him. They concluded that was on Tatum.
So Stout, who was the hero to send this game into the second overtime, will try to tie the game up. He gets 2 shots. We talked about earlier, he's a 74% free throw shooter on the season. Got it. He's got 17. Stout has not missed a free throw tonight.
ties the game up.
I really like the way he plays the game of basketball.
Hits a huge three and hit 2 clutch free throws.
18 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists. He's just good. Jamaal, 15 on the shot clock. Pull up, jumper, no, short.
Not so sure if that was the best shot.
Here comes Jostin. Bryan Mullins grabs Eric Coleman and hands them 2 free throws.
You have to be careful if you're SIU here. You know if you foul, they're in the double bonus and you're giving them 2 free throws. Have to be careful in that foul.
You're fouling the right guy, though. He's a 56% free throw shooter.
But with the game,
he's 6 out of 9 tonight.
With the game he's had.
6 out of 9.
And he gets it to go.
Panthers regain the lead, 61-60.
70% from the free throw line tonight.
Coleman's got 19 points. He and Stout both with 19 points.
Gets that one.
He takes the lead with 20. 2-point game. Coleman's got 15 rebounds. Timeout, Southern. Minute 55 to go. This is a full timeout.
Seesaw battle here, Mike. First Southern was up, and then Northern Iowa ties the game up. Now it's Northern Iowa ahead by 2. You just never know where this game's going to go.
Don't forget our next game Thursday night. Well, it may be, this game may not finish before Thursday night, but Thursday night at Missouri State, Springfield, Missouri, 7 o'clock, right here on WSIU TV 8.
Wow, this has to be the best game in the Valley all year, bar none.
Double overtime, I would say so. And the foul trouble the Salukis are in is just horrendous. And Chris Lowry's drawn up a play. And the preseason conditioning that the Salukis go through really has them in good shape here physically. It's just the foul trouble that they are in.
Yeah, Northern Iowa worked on them early in the game, in the first half and in the second, just kept on getting fouls on the big men. It's really hurting SIU right now.
Salukis have committed 26 fouls. Jacobson has 12 points on 2 out of 12 shooting.
You don't see that very often.
Not MVP type numbers for the preseason MVP of the league.
I think if any fans had any doubt that these 2 teams were the best teams in the Valley, I think they just solidified that tonight, that they are the 2 best teams.
Minute 55 to go. Northern Iowa has 1 timeout left. The Salukis have a timeout left. And I want to remind you about the next game coming up Thursday night. It's at Springfield, Missouri. Salukis and Missouri State Bears, Thursday night, 7 o'clock, right here on WSIU Public Television. Matt and I and the whole gang will be there once again as the 3-game road trip will finish up. Tony Young and Randal Falker talking about a little bit of leadership stuff in that little huddle there.
Right, I know Tony's disappointed right now about those free throws.
Here we go. 62-60. Shaw was open for a second. On the shot clock. Jamaal, no.
Can't get that one. Can't get that bucket to go.
Got to play defense here without fouling. Can't foul. That's Little. That's Stout. Foul on Shaw.
That was a reach in.
Golly.
You're giving them.
You just can't do that.
That's an automatic 2 free throws. You just got to remember you can't reach in like that. You can't give them easy chances to get points.
Matt's got 4. Coleman gets 2 free throws.
Already up by 2. They have a chance to make this a 2-possession game if they can make both of these free throws here.
Coleman going for his 21st and 22nd point of the game. Missed it.
Even if he makes this, it's still a 1-possession game, Mike.
Coleman will shoot it again. Got it. 3-point game. Minute to go. Minute 7. Clock running.
And if you're SIU, you still don't need a 3 here to tie the game. You can still go for 2.
For Shaw.
Wow! Yes. His 3rd 3 of the game, 2nd in overtime.
So each team will get a possession.
Huge.
Here comes Benny J. How about a steal? Working on Boyle. There's Jacobson. High off the glass for 2.
What a shot. Tony Young had him guarded very well, and Jacobson makes the fadeaway.
Traveling.
Not good for Tatum there. The Salukis are going to have to foul now.
Picked his pivot foot up. Picked his pivot foot up.
Looks like Jamaal didn't really know where he was at when he stopped his dribble and went up for it again and took his foot off. You have to foul now if you're the Salukis to try and get the ball back.
I don't want Grant Stout catching this basketball, though. There's the foul. So a guy who shoots 86% on the season will be at the free throw line. Travis Brown, 12 out of 14 this year. Will shoot 2.
Well, we've seen it all tonight, Mike. Tony Young, 96% free throw shooter, couldn't get a couple to go. Maybe Brown might not be able to get these to go.
McDermott's already talking about fouling somebody if they get up by 3 and don't get up by 4.
It would make sense if McDermott could do that, because you don't want them to at least be able to tie the game up. If you foul them, they have to hit 2 shots, and you're still ahead.
I think they're going to try to foul Mullins if he even gets the basketball. Second free throw, good. 2-possession game. Now they won't foul. They don't want to extend the game now. Here we go. Three from Young, no, way short, air ball.
Tony Young wanted to take that shot. He had a hand in his face when he did it. Air ball, didn't even get the rim. And you can see these Northern Iowa fans sure are happy right now.
You bet they are. And now Little goes to the line. 67% free throw shooter. 1 out of 2 in the game. And this one is about done when the Salukis thought they had a chance to wrap it up. There's Chris Lowry. A free throw missed by Tony Young would have put them up by 4. And he couldn't get the 1-and-1 to drop, and now John Little will shoot 2. Good. It's academic now. Not enough time. 68-63. Tatum, good. Timeout, Southern.
A 2 doesn't do you too much good at this situation, though.
69-65, 4.2 seconds left in the ball game. And the fans here at the Unidome got their money's worth tonight. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast as well.
What an amazing game. Both teams battling so hard. Matt Shaw playing through an ankle injury. He sure is one heck of a player. Made a couple of good three-pointers on a bum ankle. It looks like it's not going to be enough.
They're all good free throw shooters. You don't know who to foul, and still it's 2 possessions. You need to steal the inbounds pass. And there's a foul. Stout fouled by Matt Shaw. And Matt just fouled out of the game with 13 points.
You can't even say enough how much Matt Shaw did tonight. Hurt, comes back into the game.
Played a great game.
Had a couple of huge threes. Matt Shaw did a really nice job tonight. He has nothing to hang his head about.
Nope. Stout, who was the hero in the first overtime, has 2. Real short. Oh, he still got it to go, though.
That's what happens when things are going your way.
He's got 19. And 20. 3.1 seconds left. There's your final score.
And they storm the court, Mike. The fans storm the court.
Wow. They're the preseason pick to win this thing, and they win a home game and they storm the court. That's pretty interesting.
You can tell the fans are pretty happy that they win the game, but SIU sure gave them one heck of a fight tonight. They weren't going to back down at all. Neither did Northern Iowa. It was a battle of wills tonight, and Northern Iowa just ended up making a couple more shots. Grant Stout had a huge game.
Northern Iowa led by Eric Coleman's 21 points. Grant Stout had 20, including the big 3 that sent it into the second overtime. And the Panthers have just enough to win it in 2 overtimes. The final score was 71-65. It was tied at 48 after the regulation. And then it was Stout's 3-pointer in the overtime period, tied it up again. And Southern just didn't have enough. 3 guys fouled out. The big guys, Shaw, Foster, and Falker, all fouled out in the basketball game and just didn't have enough down the stretch to win it.
Yeah, Tony Young, you know, he missed a couple of big free throws, and Matt Shaw came up big. He hit a couple threes, but in the end, the Salukis just couldn't get some of their shots to fall, and that was the difference in the game. Northern Iowa made those shots that they needed to make.
Chris Hagstrom now has Saluki assistant coach Rodney Watson. Chris, go ahead.
Coach Watson, it was a very tough game. You had to go to double overtime. The Salukis had played their heart out today. You couldn't have asked any more from your defense.
What a great game and a big-time college atmosphere. 2 heavyweight teams. Those are NCAA teams. What a big plays. Both guys on both teams had great courage to make big shots and big plays. We didn't get a couple free throws down. I could have sealed some things, and we'll work on that. But you just can't say enough about college atmosphere. This is big-time basketball.
Absolutely, Coach. You know, you went into that first overtime. What was going through you as soon as that last shot was made for the Salukis?
Well, certainly he makes a big shot and the momentum switches. But we were 1 basket away from getting it back, and once we got our basket back, Matt hits a great big 3. Now we get our momentum back. They come back and make plays. Hey, you can't ask any more from our guys. They played so hard defensively on both sides of the ball. Those are 2 great teams.
Coach, thank you very much. We'll see you at Missouri State.
Thank you guys for covering us.
Thank you very much. Mike, it was an up and down game. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Chris. Rodney Watson, he's pure class.
Oh, he is.
Credits Northern Iowa with making the big plays, and they did. Both teams made big play after big play. Northern Iowa at home just ended up getting it done when it really counted, 71-65. And
I think it's safe to say that the Saluki basketball team is looking forward to moving into this new field house next year, playing there. They haven't really been very successful. They were 7-9 going into games here at the Unidome going into this game. They finished 7-10 overall all time here. I think they want to try and start something new at the new field house next year.
Salukis put 4 players in double figures, led by Jamaal Tatum with 17, Falker and Shaw both with 13. Bryan Mullins had 10, Tony Young had 6, and he wishes he had 8. But it didn't happen. Wesley Clemens had a bucket. Tony Boyle had a bucket. Jamaal Foster also had a bucket. Northern Iowa, again, Coleman with 21 points and 15 rebounds. And Grant Stout, 21 points and 13 rebounds. A double-double for both of them. Ben Jacobson ended up with 14 points, but he had to earn it. 3 for 13 from the field. He hit a huge fadeaway jumper in the lane, which gave Northern Iowa a big play atmosphere. So the final score from the Unidome is Northern Iowa 71, the Salukis 65. Our next broadcast will be Thursday night from Springfield, Missouri, when the Salukis take on the Bears from Missouri State. So for Chris Hagstrom and Matt Bierman, this is Mike Trude and all of the crew. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you again Thursday night from Springfield.